I find that there can be a magic in hanging art. Just bring everything in, kind of, I'll be planning it out as I carry pieces in and just kind of stage them in a general idea where I feel like this might be a good spot for it. And basically just carried everything in, leaned it against the wall and was like, that's a great spot.
It was very efficient.
Yeah, streamlined.
We really did. There was no agony whatsoever. It was very smooth.
And that describes the relationship at the Dahlia Woods and Catherine Stroud Gallery. More in this podcast.
This is Jim Bratton Podcast, a podcast exploring his personal interests, interviews with artists and musicians, as well as other creators, an opinion or two, or more, poetry and prose, ambient sound, binaural and ASMR, audio produced for meditation and relaxation, experimental sound or music, and those exploring aesthetic boundaries. You may enjoy some, or all, or none. Now, here's Jim.
So, this is Jim Bratton Podcast, and we're here with Dahlia Woods, Catherine Stroud.
Hello.
In their new gallery space, which is
2328 Market Street.
2328 Market Street on the corner. What a nice looking space it is. Since we're talking to both of you, thank both of you for joining me, by the way.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
This is a gallery, a two-person gallery. So, number one, how long have each of you known each other? And then lead me into how this partnership in a gallery came about.
I've known Catherine for about a year, and I liked her right away. She's fluent in French, and French is my first language, so we immediately started speaking French.
I did not know that.
Yes. Salut. And we had talked about joining forces a few months ago, and had found a space that we really loved, but there were a bit of challenge as far as getting the space, and the lease was a bit of a struggle, and ultimately it wasn't for us. So we continued to look, and I met somebody who works with CASA, which is Court-Appointed Special Advocates.
Yes.
And I used to do that in Dallas with my gallery in Dallas. I was a big supporter of that group. And I met this wonderful woman who introduced me to Connie Jerome. So I told Catherine I met Connie Jerome, and then I went to their fundraiser prep party where they were having a fundraiser at the Bryan Museum fashion show, and obviously it's a program to promote CASA. So I helped with the preparation of the baskets, so to speak, in this location.
Right.
And it was primarily a wedding venue, a wedding planning venue with vendors. All the vendors on the island had their presence here in this space. So it was very full, but we made space to do the baskets. And I heard Connie Jerome saying, I really want to reduce my presence.
Connie is your adjacent neighbor.
Yes. And she's our landlady.
Right.
So I heard her say that. And so I moved closer to her and I said, hi, my name is Dahlia Woods. And we're looking for a gallery. And she said, oh, perfect. Let's talk. So I invited Catherine to meet her, and one thing led to another, and here we are.
And I was pretty stubborn because
Catherine was
after looking at the first space that we looked at together, when the lease fell through, I told her there's nothing else for rent downtown.
So you thought that was an omen, perhaps, even that you weren't supposed to have a gallery.
I'm like, okay, whatever. Wave my white flag. I folded. I was just, certain that knowing this island so well, there just weren't other locations. And then, lo and behold, a month or so later, Connie starts creating this one, basically.
So she basically added a partition.
Yes, she did. She was very accommodating. And,
wow.
And I was gently persistent with Catherine. I tried not to be too overwhelmingly excited because I was really excited.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just could see this as a gallery space, but
Yeah.
we gently convinced Catherine that it was a good idea, and I believe we are very happy here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
We're both painting here, which is great.
That's what I didn't realize this was also your creative space.
Well, I think for both of us as artists, we don't want to be stuck in a spot where we're not able to do something.
Well, that's right. You want to hang around the gallery?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Watch the-
beautiful here, but what are we gonna do? I'm not gonna
Yeah.
look at my phone for 6 hours. And
Yeah.
thank God, art is what we do to pass time. It's our joy. So to be able to have a space in here and create, and Connie next door, because of her bridal business, has these fresh flowers she kind of pushes our way. So to have these fresh models, so to speak, to get to work from.
And we have beautiful light,
I
Yeah.
was going to say,
which is intrinsic to working on a canvas.
this is just it. Really, without being tried, it checks all the boxes.
Well, I made a pro-con list,
Right.
as I do with any big change
Sure,
in
sure.
life, and the pros definitely outweighed the cons. The cons were maybe 2 or 3, and the pros were about 12.
And you had a gallery,
Yeah, this is my 10th gallery.
your 10th gallery.
Yes,
Because
because we
the second one on the island.
my second one on the island,
Okay.
and we had moved many, many times because of Jonathan, my husband. He was assistant general counsel at Nortel, so we moved
Right.
many, many times, and I decided to take advantage of all the different locations.
Yeah. Okay. Hence the fairly large number of galleries
Yes,
that you've had.
yes. So
And Catherine, you've been affiliated with a number of. Have you ever had your own specific space here?
This is my first one.
Wow.
So pretty exciting,
It is, but that was a transition for you. Was that sort of a I'm going to be tied to one space now kind of thing a little
At the
bit?
same time, it's now I've got a space where I can do my own kind of innovative things.
Right.
I have an audience through this place that is different than what I could do and host through my home. I think it is so special to be somewhere that's accessible to strangers, somebody that I
Right,
haven't met
right.
before. Those are usually the most beautiful encounters, to have somebody walk in and, to meet each other that way. And
Right.
art is a good binding force.
Well, it is that, and I was also thinking, when you're in somebody else's space and you want to do something maybe a little bit on the experimental side, they may or may not be amenable to that because they're thinking of Catherine Stroud art. Your whatever your previous brand
Mm-hmm.
was. That's if you're going to do it in their space. That's what they anticipate you showing up with.
And yeah, they're not all Becky Majors, They're not going to paint the wall,
Oh gosh!
decorate the whole gallery space. And I love how she does that. And it is, yeah, definitely in that vein that it's an added bonus to be able to have a place like this, because we can come up with our own ideas over here.
Yeah. How about your art? Did you contemplate one another's art? In words, I'm just looking. I'm looking at it. It all seems very complimentary to me.
When I first met Dahlia, I had just set up a show at Maud Coffee House, and she was across the street in her last gallery on the island with Ann Lane, Dahlia Woods Gallery.
Right.
There on Post Office. And I had heard about them and hadn't had a chance to meet them yet. So after I set up, I walked over there to say hello and took a gander at all the work, and immediately I just loved the space. It was really open and clean,
Right.
big pieces of art.
Yeah.
The walls weren't just cluttered with pieces, and it was something much more impressionist than what we normally see on the island. Just fun, vibrant, expressive paintings. And so that immediately warmed me over to her, just to see a gallery space and art that I could resonate with. And it reminds, very European style. It's got
I was going to say, because
European freshness.
you certainly have a super soft spot for that,
Yes, I do.
and
Won't get away from it.
and always return with some
Mhm.
incredibly creative pieces,
Yeah.
some great looks. So this was almost like a bonding at first sight then,
Yeah.
in terms of your creativeness.
Oui, absolument. Oui.
And when did you realize that Catherine spoke French?
I think
It was pretty quickly that
Pretty
day when
quickly.
I met you.
I went to the Maud, and I know your mother. I know Helen Stroud from the East End,
Uh-huh.
and Helen suggested that I meet you.
But also in your gallery, some of your paintings were French and Italian scenes. So
You
I know I
do.
had asked you about it and learned that she lived in France and Italy and had been all around.
Here you went.
Yeah.
So I went to the mod and immediately said, "Salut, comment ça va?"
Uh-huh.
So it was really magical.
So how's Catherine's French?
Oh, très bien. Oui, super.
Really?
Oui, oui. C'est génial.
Very nice.
Vraiment.
Thank you.
Oui.
So your art was complimentary.
Yes.
Vibes were resonant.
Yes.
And then you decided you pursued one space, which didn't work.
It wasn't meant to be.
Right. Almost walked away from the concept of having a space together then at that time.
I was still hopeful. I was driving around this whole area, walking, and I took the puppies actually a couple of times walking street to street. And I'm going to find something. And Catherine was a little bit cautious and hesitant. And then this turned up, and I knew immediately it was the right place because I'd done this so many times,
Right.
and I could see through all the decorations and the bridal gowns and all the wedding accessories.
The other stuff that was
It was full,
Right,
and
right.
I think they had 8 tables of vendors from the Tremont Hotel to the Galvez, to Cakes by Jula, to the Lasker Inn. The Riondo's restaurant had a table.
old bridal ensemble. That
It was a presentation to help brides decide on
Right.
their event. But I could see it as I could go beyond the actual
Because you've
physical
done that.
elements. And it was a wonderful concrete floor and tall ceilings and wonderful light.
Right. You know, it is always a bit surprising to me that very creative people in one, like visual creative people like you folks are, may or may not see that in a space when the space is not as it will be. So that's a gift to be able to look into a crowded space or whatever it is
See it for potential.
and see it as it would be. So you did the deal.
Yes, and Connie has turned into a wonderful partner and landlady, and we have beautiful flowers from her, and it's going to be a long and steadfast relationship.
That was going to be my next question. What do you look for in the future? We haven't even talked about the art yet. We will. But how you get, the art is the product of this relationship and of your singular creativeness as well. And the way it comes together here is the duality of it, I guess. But so what do you think comes next?
Well, we're talking about having specific theme shows, so we'll pick a concept and work on that as a title for a show. We're thinking of perhaps a music venue. Last week we had music here in the gallery.
In honor of Make Music Day, we set up a whole music station in here and invited people to come play music. So to be able to host events like that, to get a little out of the norm.
What's your square footage here? It's a nice open space.
800-ish?
It's like
Or 6?
I think about 800, 900.
And for our listeners, I'll say they've gone quite minimalist in the terms of what they put on the floor. It's minimal furniture, and the art is the space.
I do want to get one good armchair on a swivel. Partially because Matisse once said that a great piece of art should be something like a nice armchair, comfortable.
Right
you're
there?
at ease.
Right there in the corner.
So I always just kind of like have that as this notion floating through my mind, this nice armchair of a painting. And so I feel like I've always seen that in my little mind's eye to get, the pretty little chic armchair, just because also I think it's so the best part about art is being with it and being able to sit, contemplate, kind of space out on colors and lines and how you're feeling when you look at these different things. And so to provide that nice cozy spot for a person to be able to
I just,
take it all in.
I think that's marvelous. I wasn't trying to impose any kind of my taste in large chairs or anything.
I had an idea when Connie first invited me in here, and I came to see her almost every day to talk about this as a possible gallery, and we always sat in two little armchairs right there. There were two chairs, and it was very comfortable, and it was inviting.
Yeah.
So maybe we could do two small ones, so we could have. Actually, it might be a good idea for a client. They could sit and we could discuss.
Yeah, exactly.
I think so, and the idea that because your walls are uninterrupted here, you can sit in one spot, like at the corner,
And just soak it all in.
and you can just look all around, and it's all close enough. It's all well lit, and just, you're right, talk about it and feel it.
Yeah, each painting is its own little world,
I know.
So
And we have the installation to give breath to each painting, where you can look at the piece and step back and not have anything conflicting as far as other objects and other distractions. We want to be pretty streamlined and minimal in the other objects in the gallery. We want to have a focus on the paintings.
That's very sophisticated yet very straightforward.
Oh, we're trying.
Is that called visual ergonomics?
Yes.
And is that what you called it?
I think it's called, well, in my my former life as an architect, one of my favorite classes was spatial relationship.
Yes.
And that really opened up my mind as to visuals and the importance for simplicity to achieve the goal.
I did not know she was an architect in her previous life either.
yeah, I know, right? Imagine.
I focused on vintage homes, turn of the century homes, which we live in one actually. But I think that when you come into a gallery, first impression is the best impression.
We're going to put a picture or two at the very head of the podcast, of course, of what you have here, and of two of you.
Okay.
And it's a whole nother podcast to walk through the art. But did you have, I'm going to ask this question, and you can either answer it or not. Did you have a theme in mind as you built your first presentation, as you hung your first presentation here?
Well, I can tell you, for me, no, like there wasn't enough. It all happened so quickly.
Yes.
You know, we didn't have time.
We had a week. We had a week to get ready. I'm serious.
Yeah.
We had a week to get ready.
So it came down to, like, what do I have in, like, I was concerned for a minute. I didn't even have enough in personal collection.
What's your inventory?
For a show, and luckily I was able to scrap it all together and did create a couple new pieces for the show. But that's something that I look forward to in the future, to be able to kind of create a whole new collection based off of some kind of theme and be able to present that.
Dahlia, how are you, a fast or a slow painter?
Depending how I feel that day.
Okay.
I can be fast, and I like to, I draw all the time. So I have many notebooks of my Prismacolor drawings.
Right.
And those take a long time because they're somewhat repetitive, but also very psychologically satisfying. So I will use those as my source or my inspiration for a painting. And once I have that format, I can do a painting pretty quickly.
How did you decide on the placement?
It was very spontaneous.
Yeah.
Come on.
And yes, it was spontaneous. I have not that many paintings left anymore. So I was being very impulsive as to which piece went where. And it sort of came out in a wonderful salad.
Well,
Yeah.
same thing for you, Catherine. You just sort of
I find that there can be a magic in hanging art. Just bring everything in, kind of, I'll be planning it out as I carry pieces in and just kind of stage them in a general idea where I feel like this might be a good spot for it. And basically just carried everything in, leaned it against the wall, and was like, that's a great spot.
right.
Hung it, and we were done. It was
It was very efficient.
yeah, streamlined.
We really did. There was no agony whatsoever. It was very smooth. And
Well, we did get in a little bit of trouble when we hung our wall back here. This is our littles wall. So one area of the gallery that's dedicated to our smaller pieces.
Yeah.
And we had cozied up right around Jonathan Wood's section. Jonathan, Dahlia's husband, writes these beautiful crime novels. And we were just a little bit too close to him, and he was feeling cluttered. So Jonathan let us know that we needed to work on our wall of littles back here. But luckily we satisfied everybody in the end.
See what you have.
And came out beautifully.
yeah, Connie Jerome and our dear friend Sheila Merritt came and rearranged it all, and he's happy, and we're happy. So
And
peace.
the amount of help and support we've had from these wonderful ladies around here, like volunteering to help us on our first opening night with serving drinks and keeping everything to Heidi. And that, it's no small thing. It just takes so much stress off of us and lets us focus on the conversations and the greeting of everybody. So,
And both of you all are very, very good at that. It was a very comfortable evening.
Yeah.
Socially, but both of you are very good
Well,
at
I have to give a special thanks to Sheila Merritt, because she is the woman I met on post office who had the table for CASA. And I started speaking to her, and she said, oh, you need to meet the director of CASA. And then she introduced me to Connie Jerome. And Sheila lives upstairs, and she's very good friends with Connie.
upstairs.
Yeah, in a beautiful condo.
yes.
And Sheila has been an angel to us, as well as Connie. So we feel like this is meant to be.
Yeah, they tucked us in here so nice.
This has been just a very nice conversation.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Merci beaucoup.
Can I ask one thing that, as we sort of wrap this up? I usually like to ask for a bit of advice at the conclusion of one of these conversations, and that is, all right, you two, you've done multiple galleries. This is your first really your gallery. Tell us about, and tell the listeners, what advice you would give in terms of starting something like this, and how, what step 1, step 2, step 3, or guidance that you would give.
Well,
Or how about
first
inspiration?
step, I would say, don't fight. Don't struggle to make what you want exist. I think sometimes, like, for example, wanting a gallery and the last place falling through, had we really wanted it very badly, that space wouldn't have fallen through. We would have agreed to this 22-page lease that had a lot of inconsistencies in it, would have probably found ourselves in there with this space and with problems.
And a lot of financial.
And financially, that was a much more expensive situation. And
But
so it's just like, I feel like in big projects, if you just kind of like, take the knock and keep on rolling and see what you end up banked onto, I think life provides so many different opportunities if you're not too greedy about trying to grab the first one.
Dahlia?
When you're given an opportunity and it is a smooth operation, it's meant to be. If there are challenges and hiccups, walk away.
I think we said the same thing.
Yes.
I know that. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Very, very good confirmation on that.
Yes.
Thanks both of you for your time today.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
With Dahlia Woods and Catherine Stroud. Thanks again for your time.
Oh, it was wonderful. Thank you.
This has been Jim Bratton Podcast. We hope you have enjoyed, been inspired, informed, angered, or otherwise emotionally stimulated. This is your booth announcer, Sierra Sakel.